Hey everyone, it's Chronic Blaze here, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a full car build analysis of my 5 or so main builds in Rocket League. So I wanted to do a different style of video rather than just a Rocket League gameplay. So we're going to be going through all my different car builds, not all of them, but some of the more kind of iconic ones that actually appear on the channel and that I've been experimenting with. So let's start with kind of the big one. So this is my Octane. So this build is the build that you've probably seen on the channel a lot before, especially in my old videos. I did switch to McLaren and then to Dominus. Now I'm kind of flipping between the two. But this was the Octane that I always used. So this is the gray Octane. So I know it looks titanium white, but it's gray. It looks pretty good. I actually really like this Octane. So then on the blue build, we have Parallax, which is definitely the build that does show up more in my videos. But on the orange build, we do have Heat Wave. So this does show up a little bit, but this Parallax build has definitely showed up a lot more in my videos. For the paints, we have a dark shade of blue and a darker shade of red. Not all the way dark. I did used to have this, but I found that was too bright. Kind of at the beginning of the Parallax, so I just went with that. And then for the Heat Wave, we have a white paired with a red, which definitely looks really good in my opinion. Especially all these colors do go good together. The black didn't look as good, or even something like a blue. Yeah, it looks okay, but I think that the white just looks better, looks a lot more clean. Then for the wheels, we have my Crimson Pulses. I love Pulses. Pulses are some of my favorite wheels in the game. Yeah, I know I use capacitors a lot now, but I love Pulses. I'm probably like always just gonna use Pulses. Like on a lot of my Crimson builds, I always use Pulses, because Pulses are awesome, let's be real here. For the boost, I have a Crimson Tachyon. I also really like the Tachyon, especially the Crimson one. Like, the Saffron one, which I'll get to later, isn't as good. But the Crimson one is, like, I use this on pretty much all my builds. Now, anyways, I use this a lot. Topper, I like toppers on some builds. I have a Crimson Halo on this one. And then I have the Portal Companion Cube, which you will be seeing a lot of later. Goal Explosion is basically the same on all my builds. I use Electroshock. And then my trail is Lightning, favorite trail in the game. And OEMB version 2 is my engine sound. So around the time that I hit Plat 2 is when I started doing a lot of cleaner builds. So I didn't want to build with super flashy black markets. I just wanted a clean build. So I got the McLaren, and I'm like, this car looks pretty clean. I want to check it out. And it was with this car that I hit Plat 2. This was during my God phase. The hitbox was insane. If you've seen some of this cons video on like all the phases that a Rocket League player goes through, this was like my God phase car when I was just doing so incredibly well. Went from Gold 3 to Plat 2. My rank has not changed at all since then. I've basically been staying at Plat 2. A little bit of a dip for about a month to Plat 1 when I didn't play for about a month, and that was to do a lot of new Super Mario Bros. Wii stuff. You'll be able to look back on the channel and actually notice that. And I came back to this game using this car. Did dip in rank, but that's fine. So pretty much everything is standard. The blue is a very dark blue, and the red's a very dark red. Standard wheels. I do have Flamethrower yellow on this car. The reason behind that is it looks the most like Alpha Boost in the entire game. Now, there's two reasons why I don't have Alpha Boost. One is the price of it, and two is because I'm an Xbox player, so I actually can't get Alpha Boost. I have no topper. I did want an antenna, though, because I do like antennas. Like, I don't know why. I just like antennas better than toppers now. So I have just the normal McLaren topper, Electroshock as usual. And on this build, it is a bit different. I have Lightning on the blue car and Friction on the orange. And the McLaren engine sound, because I actually couldn't pick another one. So this is a build that you're going to be seeing a lot of in my fourth montage. Not actually so much on the channel yet, but this was my main build for about a month or so. Was my RLCS build. Not a builds that I kind of switched through as main builds. But I wanted to support the esports scene, and I wanted to support the teams that I actually do, like Cloud9 and Dignitas. And when I found out McLaren had the same hitbox as Dominus, that's when I decided to get the Dominus decals, and I made Dominus. So on the blue car, we have Cloud9. On the orange car, we have the Dignitas decal. I thought this looked really good, and it was an easy way for me to support both teams. You can use the Cloud9 decal on the orange car, but everyone's going to think you're on blue. I didn't want that to happen. So the colors are pretty much mandatory. Now for the blue cars, for the Cloud9 build, we have Sky Blue, Veteran Striker, so just Striker, Capacitor 4s. These are one of my favorite wheels in the game. I actually got these out of Rocket Pass 1. This was the best thing that I got out of Rocket Pass 1, and it's actually one of the only things that I actually used out of Rocket Pass 1. These wheels, the Capacitor 4s Saffron, I traded for. So they are Rocket Pass 1 wheels, but I did have to trade for them. Here's the boost. So I decided to go with a normal Tachyon for the blue car, just an unpaid Tachyon. It looks sky blue enough. But the Saffron Tachyon, I did use Flamethrower Yellow at a time, but the Saffron Tachyon looks slightly better. It's definitely not as good. Like, I don't like the kind of reddish in the Saffron Tachyon. It looks better in the Blue Tachyon or the Crimson Tachyon, where it's literally just red. But I do like the Saffron Tachyon. It's just not as good as the Crimson one. I don't have a topper on this build. I do have the Portal Companion Cube on both, Electroshock on both, and it's actually a little bit different for trails for this build. I have Light Speed and a Saffron Laser Wave 3, which I did get out of Rocket Pass. And OEMB version 2 is my engine sound. The next build is the Dominus, so it's literally everything from the Octane build, it's just in the Dominus form. And now my latest build, this is the first time you're seeing this build on the channel, but come November and December, I have a lot of gameplay videos where this build will be being used a few times. So this is my mainframe build. I just got this about a week ago as I'm recording this video. And this build, I decided to go with Dominus for, and it looks really good. I decided with a gray on the mainframe just because it actually looks titanium white. This looks amazing. So on both builds, I have mainframe. Obviously, you can see only 10 saves compared to my 71 with heat and 493 with para. Just because I've used this so much less. So I've only used this build for actually a few days now because I haven't been playing as much Rocket League. So we have a gray on the mainframe. Yeah, you could lighten it up a bit. It still does look titanium white. But to be honest, I like this color. I think it's a bit too bright if you lighten it up one. So I just decided to use this color, and I went with the same colors that I typically do use on the McLaren. For the wheels, I decided to go super clean. Not going to use the titanium white Diomeds, although they do look sick on this build. I went with Cristianos. Maybe some black pulses would look good for this build, but I'm not going to really get them yet, so I just decided to go with the Cristianos. For the boost, of course, I went with Flamethrower Yellow. This build basically takes off a lot from the McLaren. I don't have a topper on this build, and of course, it's the Portal Companion Cube, Electroshock, with Light Speed on the blue car, and Blazer on the orange car, and OEMB version 2 for the engine sound. And finally, we have this car. This car, I decided to do, because this is a replica. It's not the exact preset. This is on my old ML34 preset. But this is the car that I started playing Rocket League with. This is the first car I ever used. So, it was with this... Yeah, it was a Takumi. The first car I ever used, obviously, was a standard Octane. But the main actual build I used was this Takumi. It actually looks kind of ugly. I used the Crazy 8 decal, which I still don't think it's a bad decal, so to say. I like it better than all other ones. I know a lot of people don't agree with me. Obviously not counting black markets. Black markets I also find do not look good on the Takumi. Tora looks okay, but when it comes to para, that doesn't look as good as on the Octane or the Dominus. Then we have Toon Wood. I don't know why I chose the Toon Wood paint finish, and this orange on green looks really ugly. In an updated build I did change it to purple and metallic, but this looks, yeah, not good. I'm not going to be going through my other build. That on the Takumi, it's pretty straightforward. Wheels, we have OEMs. The boost, I used Thermal Blue on both. I didn't use something else, probably because I hadn't unlocked anything else at this point, because the unlock system was a lot different, and you actually unlocked each item individually. Some weird glitch happened where the Dominus was lost for Xbox players. That includes Takumi and Pixelated Shades. So, unfortunately, they weren't on this build, but they are on the build now, so there we go. That's an exact replica. I had this Mason order. I don't know why I had this. I use the Portal Companion Cube so much more now, but this was the old antenna that I used. And then I had the classic goal explosion, obviously. There were actually no goal explosions in the game at the time I started playing Rocket League. There were none. It was just the classic goal explosion. And obviously the classic trail. There were no trails in the game, and OEMA, because there were no engine sounds in the game either. That's gonna wrap up this video, so if you guys did enjoy, please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss one of my videos. That's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.